Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Sorry for the delay today, few technical difficulties, but nice to see you guys today. My name's Brandy. I'm part of the team here at Syncro. We have Crystal as well. I think she'll pop in a second. We're just working on a few things. But if this is your first time joining us, so happy to have you. If you come multiple times, welcome again. What we like to do here, this is a safe space. It's an open forum for you guys to ask any questions that you have. It can be on any topic. That's what this is for. There's absolutely no agenda for this. And today we have a really special guest with us. So Michael, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Reeves. I'm a security architect for Bitdefender. Been at Bitdefender about 18 months now, but I've been in the industry for quite a while. Do you want me to turn on my video, or do you want, how does this work? I'm also new to this, this office hours, so.
Yeah, feel free to turn on your video if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
It'll just be us with our video, and then the participants won't have it on. But really casual space, so there's no pressure today. And for everyone in the audience too, we're gonna let Michael start, and then if you guys have any questions at all, it doesn't have to be specific to Bitdefender today. It can be about anything, like we always do. But of course, since we do have Michael, we want to take advantage of picking his brain, asking any questions. It can be about Bitdefender, can be about the Syncro integration, you name it. We're gonna put him on the spot. No, we're gonna help him out too. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop those in the Q&A. That's the best way to do this today. You'll notice that Crystal and I will probably drop some links in chat, and Michael too, if you have any. We'll drop those over to you guys for different resources based on what you're asking. But in terms of how you guys should communicate with us, do it in the Q&A so we can stay organized today. And Michael, if we see any of these questions coming through that are regarding Bitdefender, we can read those aloud, or you can grab those. I think, I'm not sure if Crystal's going to join us. We're going to, you know how Fridays are, everyone who's been here before. It's casual. We have problems sometimes. We're rolling with it. So, Michael, I'll go ahead and kick it off to you. If you have anything you want to start with, feel free. And then usually it takes a few minutes for our users to start asking questions. They're all
no worries. Let's see. Well, happy Friday, everyone. Looking forward to the weekend. It's actually raining here. I'm based out of Arizona, so rain is something that happens very infrequently here in Arizona. So we're excited about that. Bitdefender, let's see, what can I say about Bitdefender? We seem to be growing like a weed right now. We continue to add new partners, customers. Our MSP business, of which I work, is exploding at the company, which is really, really exciting. I think it's because what we're seeing now is that you've got very, very advanced attacks that have been occurring in the, kind of my history in the industry, in the large enterprise space. Now, those attacks are becoming automated so that normal people who have malicious intent can access very advanced type of malware, and then launch that in a very broad way against a lot of different types of customers, including small and medium businesses, which in the past seemed to be a little bit immune to this type of attack. Normally, attacks were focused in the financial industry or the healthcare industry or governments. But now it's very, very easy for malicious actors to get a hold of a couple of tools and then just, spray and pray. And now small businesses are being impacted by this, and it's really, really sad. And a lot of this this space really has lacked the security resources to be able to respond to these type of attacks. So the ability for Bitdefender to help partners and customers to elevate their security with their customer base is really, really critical, something that's near and dear to my heart. And I think Bitdefender does really well because we have a broad base of security controls. We provide integration with all of those security controls, so you don't have to be a system integrator to operate Bitdefender. And we also have an open platform, so we can integrate with partners like Syncro, and it just makes it a really good environment to be able to provide really in-depth, effective, efficient security, and do it in an easily consumable and easily operatable way. So that's kind of what Bitdefender is doing. It's we are not good. I will tell you, we're an engineering firm, so over half of our employees at Bitdefender are literally engineers. They are coders, engineers, research and developers, those type of folks. We do not do well with marketing and sales and stuff. So all of our growth really has been just word of mouth, that, you know, customers and partners telling other customers and partners that, hey, this stuff works, you should probably try this out. And that's what we're seeing. So anyway, great to be with you. If you have any questions, be happy to answer those questions for you.
Michael, there are two questions in here.
Sure.
You want me to go ahead and ask these for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Someone's asking, I want to hear about Bitdefender EDR. Will we be able to roll back a workstation from a ransomware event remotely?
Yeah, great question. So yes, the answer to that question is yes. What's interesting about Bitdefender is that is actually not part of our EDR solution. That is part of our core product. So our base unit of cost includes the ability to apply a security control in a policy called ransomware mitigation. It's right below the advanced threat control part of the policy. You tick the box, you turn it on. Bitdefender, when an endpoint or a series of endpoints is in an elevated risk situation, Bitdefender will make copies of the objects that are being changed, and then you can automatically or manually roll back. And that's just part of our base unit of cost. It's not included with EDR, but I'll tell you what, EDR actually uses that security control. It's integrated with EDR. What EDR gives you with Bitdefender is the ability to visualize, to have a complete attack visualization. So you'll see various incidents. You'll see all of the endpoints associated with those incidents, all of the objects, all the IP addresses, all the websites, like everything that is attached to a particular incident, including all of the endpoints. So one of the things that Bitdefender does very uniquely in this industry is, because all of our security controls are integrated, we can integrate cross endpoints. So if you have an incident that is the same across, let's say, 10 endpoints, you're going to see one incident, not 10 individual incidents, but one incident that goes across 10 endpoints. And since we're very close to launch here, in another week or so, you will also see a brand new capability in our EDR product that's going to be just available for you if you have EDR, where Bitdefender is going to take that cross endpoint correlation to another level. And you can actually search the Bitdefender webinars. I think we've had an external webinar about this. But basically what Bitdefender is going to do is, we're calling this XEDR, but and that's the marketing term for it. But basically what it does is, you will see an incident come in the EDR dashboard. You'll see it affect, maybe the initial incursion affects, let's say, 4 endpoints. Maybe it's an email. An email gets sent to 4 endpoints. You're going to see all 4 of those endpoints. Let's say that one of those people actually opens up that email. So you'll see then from that open email, it'll show you the user that opens up that email. It'll show you, let's say that email, that document in that email connects with some command and control server. You'll see the IP address of that command and control server. You'll see that interaction come back to those various environments, all the endpoints associated with that. Maybe it connects to DNS next. So you'll see the same incident connect to DNS. Then you'll literally see visually how that incident's moving around your environment, all of the correlated activity, so that you can very, very quickly determine what is happening in your environment so that you can defend your environment if you need to. Bitdefender's automated defenses are already in play, but it's really, really cool technology that's part of the Bitdefender EDR solution. So it's visualization, complete visualization across your customer. Then we also give you the ability to respond, and it could be responding to a malicious incident where you may need to isolate a host or open up a console to an isolated host, or it could be benign, so you may need to exclude that. So with a simple click in our EDR console, you can exclude objects. So in 3 to 5 seconds, you have an exclusion for something you don't want to see anymore, because it's a normal business process. So really, really very in-depth ability to respond to incidents that is integrated with all of our other technologies. And you don't even have to deploy it. All you do is you tick the box in a policy and you turn it on, and you now have it. So it's really, really simple to consume as well. So sorry for that long-winded answer, but that's kind of what it does.
That's great. Thank you, Michael. I've got these questions are rolling in. So
okay.
I have Corey asking, how does Bitdefender stack up against Sentinel One? And I'm glad you asked, Corey, because I was going to ask him too.
Yeah, good question. So Sentinel One's a great product. As you can see from my gray hair, I've been in the industry quite a while. I would say they come at EDR from 2 different architectural kind of bases. So EDR, they perform the same function, but they come at it from 2 different places. I'll explain the EDR or the Sentinel One kind of perspective on EDR, and then I'll explain the Bitdefender perspective. Because I used to work in the large enterprise. So, so Sentinel One architecture is, I'm going to tell you that there's an incident, and then you're going to need security personnel to be able to identify if that incident is malicious or benign, and then take action. So it requires like SOC resources to be able to manage it effectively. So it's a good product, but it takes a lot of people and time to work right. It's designed for like a security operations center where you have 15, 20 people. All they do is security all day. And that tool is fantastic for them because they're security professionals. They know how to identify things very quickly because they have the intellectual property to be able to do that. And then it gives them the ability to respond to those incidents. So that's the architecture of Sentinel One. Bitdefender takes an opposite approach. We assume that you don't know much about security at all. So we are designed for kind of the non-security professional. When you look at an incident in Bitdefender, we're going to give you all of the context that you need to be able to quickly determine whether something is malicious or benign, because we give it all to you, all the contextualized information to be able to determine that. And then we don't assume that you're a security professional, that you know what to do. We're going to kind of guide you on how to do that. So we're designed for the smaller shops, non-security professional, and we're going to I would call it guided EDR for dummies. Not that saying that we're dummies, but it's guided EDR for very small staffs to give them the same capability that like a SOC would have with 25, 30 different trained security professionals. So, and in fact, MITRE, someone that's not Bitdefender, actually did like an evaluation of all of these different EDR products earlier this year. And what stood out in the Bitdefender kind of space, as opposed to a lot of the other vendors, including Sentinel One, in fact, all the other vendors, is it's called, MITRE calls it Analytical Insights. And what MITRE determined is for all detections, Bitdefender, for 96% of those detections, gives you analytical insights. What this means is, think about like you're on a safari and you're in the truck, you're like looking for animals. Everybody's looking for animals. And someone goes, there's an animal out there, okay? You don't know what the animal is. You don't know if it's a giraffe, a tiger, an elephant. You just see something in the field. That is a detection, okay? That's what EDR products do really well, okay, is they tell you there's an animal in the field. Bitdefender separates itself in this space because we not only tell you that that's an animal out there, we're going to tell you that's a Bengal tiger right there. Not just not just an animal, but it's a Bengal tiger, so that you can determine very, very quickly how you're going to respond. So that's kind of the difference. Sentinel One's really good. If you're a trained security person, you've got people that dedicate themselves to security. If you're not in that situation, then what's going to happen is EDR is going to overwhelm your staff. It's going to take your time. Like I talked to MSPs who have deployed it, and I feel kind of sorry for them because they said, I say, well, how long have you spent using this tool this week? And they'll say, well, I spent 2 days looking at alerts and trying to figure out what's going on, opening up cases to do various things. And I feel bad, but that's the architecture that they have. You have to have human resources to operate it. Bitdefender doesn't require that. You can do that with somebody who manages endpoints and networking and all that stuff. And by the way, they now have to do security. That's what Bitdefender is designed for. So, great question. Another long-winded answer. Sorry.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for my technical difficulties, but I'm here. I'm back. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks, Michael, for joining us. I wanted to grab this one. I am going to throw one of our knowledge base articles just into the chat for Corey, because I think that, Michael's mentioned a couple times there's like things that are part of the core product that is included in the per endpoint pricing, and then there are additional add-ons. And so I was going to link in what are additional, like what those add-ons are. And then in that same knowledge base article, I know Michael, I know he's like, I don't sell, I don't, whatever, but, I have to plug just a little bit that you can trial Bitdefender. So like, if you've not looked at Bitdefender, you can trial it. You could spin up a trial, whether you're trialing Syncro or you are already a Syncro subscriber, you can do that. So I just wanted to mention that too. So I will throw that knowledge base in the article. There are the core product, like the core functionality of Bitdefender, and then there are add-ons in addition to that. So I will throw that knowledge base article in there. I'll let Brandy kind of triage some additional questions, and then what we'll do, because we do see some questions that are outside of Bitdefender, we'll kind of like start to sprinkle back and forth too, just to make sure that we answer some other questions as well.
I also just wanted to throw in another plug that if you guys are interested and you're not using or haven't used Bitdefender in the past, even if we haven't worked together in the past and you're like a subscriber of Syncro, you're in a trial. Since the other gals are off today, if you guys want to shoot me an email, I can drop my email in the chat box, or you can even drop your email in here. I can always get you set up with someone over at Bitdefender for a trial of their product. You don't have to worry about it being like a pressure call or anything like that, because you would want to purchase it through Syncro anyways. So you can go into it knowing like it's not a sales call. They just want you to be comfortable. I always set people up with those. Every week they're doing demos for our customers. So seriously, let us know if you want to learn more before setting up that trial or at the same time. And I can get you set up with someone over there. They're great. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in a couple other questions, and then we'll get to some of the Syncro related questions too. So John's asking regarding Bitdefender Gravity Zone, what training resources do you offer for the MSP to master administration of the security suite and provide training to the end customer?
Yeah, so great question. So we offer it's a service called the Partner Advantage Network. It's basically a website. On that website, it has, marketing materials, it's got sales training, it's got technical training, but basically just connect with your Syncro person and they'll get you access to that Partner Advantage Network. And then you log in, take training, things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of training there. And then also we have a very robust partner community as well. So Reddit, YouTube has a ton of different, you have partners like saying, here's how I use Bitdefender kind of stuff, and you can kind of look there as well. So great question.
Yes, and I'll try to dig up. I'll see if I can find the link to that. Crystal and I will look for that while we're in the session today. And then I think I have just maybe one or two more in here. Do you know if there's any type of Bitdefender Gravity Zone policy best practices materials that you guys have internally, Michael?
That's a good question. Since I've come to Bitdefender, I've been asking around, and there are like, I do like a best practices kind of onboarding session that we do. There's some kind of tips and trick stuff, but nothing formally documented here at Bitdefender. There's like a default policy that comes out of the box. But even I find that I have to tweak that for just about every environment from a best practice perspective. So good question. You may be able to search. I haven't done this yet, but maybe I should like search Bitdefender best practices and see what comes up. But no, nothing formally documented. There is a kind of a getting started guide, like the essential steps to deploying Bitdefender and things like that. If you go into Gravity Zone, up in the top right, you can pull down a list underneath your name, and it's in the help and support section. And there's kind of a getting started guide or a quick start guide there that you can use.
Perfect. Thank you. And yeah, I was going to say, similar to like with Syncro with best practices, the community is usually a really good, great place because we work for these products. We don't use them on a regular basis. So if you find anyone, whether you're in a Reddit community, a Facebook community, a pod, anything like that, then I would reach out to them too if you know anyone that's using Bitdefender and ask as well. We do have some other questions in here, but I don't want to skip the ones from previous. You've been waiting, and in case you came for that, I'll go ahead and quickly go through a couple of these, and then we'll kind of go back and forth with the Bitdefender questions. So Billy is asking, I'm looking for information on patch management, how to push patches, approve, how to report the entire site status on patching, what products can be patched. So I'm just going to give a pretty brief overview of patching. We do have a KB on patching too that we can pop in. This is going to be handled on a policy level though, so I'll just open up a policy. Windows patching is, and you guys can see my screen, right? Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go into my Windows updates here. Essentially, when you install Syncro on a device, we're looking for all of the available patches on that device. And from those available patches, you can set a schedule. So I would choose my Windows Update policy, and I might choose, okay, I want 4 categories to run maybe weekly on a Friday night. If I know that nobody's going to be logged in after 6 p.m., I might set this to reboot at that time or to start at that time, and then I can choose when I want to reboot and if I want to prompt the user. So everything is on a category level right now. However, I can have multiple categories. So I might choose, okay, let's have some run daily, weekly, monthly. Couple other ways to look at patches is in the Assets and RMM tab, if I want to look for a group of devices that might be missing a specific patch, I can look for those here in saved asset searches. We don't have a way to specifically roll back or block right now an individual KB number, but you would just hold back that category. We have 2 excellent reports that you can do, and one is missing patches by KB and one is vulnerable systems. You could just hold back that category and wait a week or however long you'd like to. You can install from these 2. Reporting is also shown. So like on the customer facing reports, executive summary will also show the patching. And I'm sure at some point we'll get into the executive summary report today. But just want to let you know, give you a little brief rundown there. Billy's also asking about scripting. So I saw Eric, thank you so much for dropping this link. I will actually drop this in the chat box for you too. You might be able to see it though, Billy, but he sent this this link, which is awesome. And so I will drop that in there for you. But scripting is really excellent in Syncro. You can bring over any scripts that you've written. You can write your own in here. We have an excellent community script library. Anything you see in here has been vetted and tested by our team, and you can just import those. So I think there's like close to 300 or 400 in here right now. Using our scripting engine, you can do some pretty powerful things, such as reading and writing to your custom fields. And then you also have the ability down below to use our PowerShell module, edit anything you already have or from our community. And you can even do things like cleaning or I guess sending a broadcast message. I can add time to a ticket. I can change the status of the ticket. This in combination with your automated remediations should be able to do a lot of work for you. I was on a call the other day with an owner and 3 techs. And the techs were like, can you stop talking about this? The owner's not going to need me anymore. So we joke about that, but it is essentially like hiring another technician. So hopefully that helps you. And then Kenya's asking what reports are most used by your customers. So, oh, I'm so sorry, Crystal. Grab that. You sure? I just going off the list instead of reading names here. Okay, I will go into this because I think most commonly used would be patching. Also, really nice asset audit report. I love this one. If you just want to see, actually, you could do it by any asset, but I could find all of Larry's devices, managed, non-managed. I can choose what's going to be shown here. So this is a really nice inventory report. And most reports are schedulable. I love that word. I just stole that from someone the other day. Wanted to see if I could say it. So I can schedule this and just have it sent to myself on a regular basis. I can also send that to, like I could send it to customers or myself, any specific technician. Think very most commonly used is going to be your executive summary report builder. And this one is my favorite. You can show as little or as much as you would like to from here. I have mine kind of built out to show a little of everything. So I show certain alerts, the most common alerts. I show tickets by type, patching, antivirus, right? Remote sessions. I can show my memory. I can show how many hours I spent, how many, let's see, like operating systems. So tons of different things on here. You can absolutely customize what this says, make it a little more user-friendly. So I would use this one. This is great. And then there's, of course, some other reports that have been around for a long time, but this one is my new favorite, and I think it's probably most commonly used by all. So I'll take a little break. That was my long-winded questions.
No, I appreciate that. I'll just grab a few that I can answer quickly. And then I see there are additional questions here for Michael too. So again, just in spirit of going back and forth, I was just going to grab this one from Kenya asking, what is the best way to install the agent? That's kind of a hard one for me to answer because it really depends on if you're already using an RMM, and if so, which one, because we do have like custom scripts that you can use your current RMM to deploy the endpoint. You can do, if you're on site, you know, you can download a custom installer. We do have an MSI installer. So depending on how or the strategy there, it would probably depend on my answer. As far as Gary's question asking, is there plans in the future to further manage BitLocker? I don't know. We don't necessarily have anything on the roadmap as of today. I know there are some scripts in the community script library to run some BitLocker commands and that sort of thing. So I would check that out if you haven't seen that. And then again, just to grab a few more, just in regards to alerts and detection, whether from Kenya, what does the agent detect on a server, and what are considered priority ones, and which alerts are the most time consuming. So what I love about Syncro is that it's completely customizable. So like we do have some built-in organic triggers that you'll find in the policy that you can apply onto a server, of course, be notified right away. I would say priority one that I've heard from most MSPs is you're going to want to know right away if your server is offline. So of course we detect for that. And hopefully most of the alerts are not time consuming, because I love what Brandy just showed just in regards to, or I think maybe she might show it a little bit more detail, but setting up automations based upon those alerts, where if an alert comes in, hopefully they're not time consuming really at all. I'm sure there's the ones that give you headaches all the time, but so it's very customizable. If you have not had a one-on-one scheduled meeting with an account executive too, like Kenya, if you want to reach out to your account executive too, if you wanted to get that one-on-one scheduled, I definitely recommend that. Okay, Brandy, should we ask Michael some questions now, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be appropriate. So Mark has been waiting for a while. So Mark wants to know, what does Bitdefender have for scanning notifications? After reading about email phishing, it seems notifications are the new avenue of abuse.
Yeah, so Bitdefender has an email security gateway product built right into it. It's basically MX redirect technology where Bitdefender will scan inbound, outbound mail and provide you protection against notification kind of stuff. Also, we rewrite all URLs. We scan documents. It's integrated with the Bitdefender sandboxing technology as well, so we can remotely detonate objects. And we also protect you against business email compromise. So you've got SPF, DMARC, DKIM kind of protection associated with the product, and it's integrated into Gravity Zone. So that's what we offer. Also, I heard mentioned Bitlocker and Filevault. Gravity Zone also integrates with those as well for management protection. So if you have Bitdefender and you're managing the security of your environment with Bitdefender, we integrate natively with both Bitlocker and Filevault. We'll store the recovery keys in Gravity Zone, so you don't have to your users don't have to use sticky notes or have to remember passwords and all that kind of stuff. So we also manage those types of environments as well.
Awesome. And Michael, I'm not sure if you have a screen, like, I don't know if you have Gravity Zone up. If you wanted to share your screen, you're more than welcome. I just wanted to offer that too, because one of the questions was, and in Bitdefender portal, how can I review the scan logs and threats for a particular endpoint?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of different ways to do that. Let me, the best way, I'll show you the way that I look at it. Give me 1 second.
And while you're doing that, I think maybe follow up as you're sharing your screen, the question, there's another one just asking, what reports are your customers using within? Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. So and both of those questions can be answered pretty much in the same. Let me see what I'm sharing here. Hold on. Okay. we go. All right, so this is Gravity Zone. The one area that you can look at for different threats and stuff is what we call Threat Explorer. So this gives you what endpoints, what's the threat, all of that type of stuff. So it's kind of a consolidated view. But what I usually do is I have partners schedule a specific report that runs, and the report that I really like, and these are all of our out-of-the-box reports here that are built into Gravity Zone. The one that I typically, when I do a brand new onboarding, are two different reports. One is what we call the security audit report. I call this the what did Bitdefender do during the time frame that you scheduled the report for. So what did Bitdefender do? What actions took place? What detections? All of that type of stuff. That's in security audit. So that's the first one that I schedule. The one on scanning is called the on-demand scanning report. You can run that as well. Security audit's going to catch a lot of that as well. It's kind of a great overview of Bitdefender. And then the other one is right up here called the monthly license usage report. So that because Bitdefender is kind of usage based, you'll be able to tell what modules you have enabled, all of that type of stuff. So I'll show you the security audit report here, and we'll just run this now. I don't know how much activity has been going on in my environments, but let's just generate this sucker and show you. So this will tell you basically what the endpoint is, and notice this is all searchable. It's also exportable as well. It'll tell you exactly what the endpoint is, what module, what security module Bitdefender detected that event, what was the event, and also the details associated with the various attacks. And you can see this is like 30 pages long, so I typically wouldn't run it for this long of a time period. But it basically tells you every detection, every action that Bitdefender's been taking in your environment. And you can also customize what this is going to look like as well. So that's the one that I normally recommend that you run and schedule it so that either like if you're an end of the week kind of report person, schedule it to be delivered on Friday or Saturday. And then if you're more of a beginning of the week person, have it scheduled to deliver from either Sunday or Monday. And it'll tell you exactly what Bitdefender's doing over the last week. So that's the one that I would recommend that you run in that particular case. Good question.
Awesome. Thank you. So John was wondering if it's possible to import or export publicly shared policies in Bitdefender Gravity Zone. Do you have like a community library at all?
We do not. Now, that's a great question. So if you have a platform that can communicate with Bitdefender via APIs, so let me show you what this is. So if I go to my account here, you can have, because we're a SaaS-based application, the entire solution is REST API based, so you can interact with it via REST APIs. What you'll do, and notice here, when you look at what can be integrated or either from a push or a pull perspective, one of the areas is policies. So you can interact with Bitdefender policies via APIs. So there is a way to interact with it. So in other words, if you want to modify kind of settings and things like that, you can do that via APIs, but there's no like import feature for specifically policies. There is for specific areas of policies. So like firewall rules, websites, things like that, that you want to exclude, either whitelist or blacklist different objects, you can do that. But the policy itself only can be manipulated via Gravity Zone or APIs. Good question.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to hop in. And I apologize, I do talk really fast, but I promise these are recorded and I just want to make sure that everyone gets their questions answered. So I'm going to go ahead and go through automated remediations for Billy really quickly. This is actually going to answer Billy's question. This is going to answer Craig's question about will Bitdefender auto create tickets inside of Syncro? And then Kincaid is asking what's the best way to get real-time notifications of events that are taking place. So this is going to answer a lot of those. So let me just go ahead and populate my screen here, assets and RMM. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to play around with automated remediations, it is my favorite thing in the whole system. So the first thing that I'm going to address is like Bitdefender. So you can create different automated remediation setup based on different conditions. So maybe I have Bitdefender installed and then I want to set up different alert bodies. So you'll be able to choose that. And then based on what happens there, then you can choose, okay, let's convert this into a ticket. And you can use these different tags down below so that you know which asset it is. You can also from here, I could go ahead and run a script, email the customer, hey, we understand that there's an issue, like we're on it. Email the technician, you name it. So you can take it full cycle here. Great place to get your alerts for Bitdefender. Another section is going to be, or here in your automated remediations, is letting it do the work for you. Really, any of your RMM alerts that you set up, you can also be running a script. And a lot of you are probably selecting this right now and like, Brandy, I only have 6 right here. Well, you have to go import them from the community script library, and then you will have a huge long list like this to do the work for you. So spend some time in automated remediations. I can even drop the KB on automated remediations for you. This is going to be like a great friend of yours, right? This is doing the work for you. So automated remediations are where it's at. Craig is asking, can you explain how Syncro can manage BitLocker keys? So I feel like scripting is the topic today. And what's great is in our community script library, you do have some scripts for BitLocker. I think I've already imported those. So you would just go into the community script library, click on them. There's going to be an import option. And then what you'll notice is you can create a custom field on your asset that is called BitLocker keys or whatever you want to call it. And then when you're running that script, let me just go back to one of those scripts, get BitLocker keys. You'll see that you can add a script variable. I can choose platform. It is actually going to write into this custom field for me. So it's going to run that script and report the value there for you. You can do this, by the way, with any custom field and any script. So you can report the output over there for you. Hopefully that helps. And then Billy said the whole section where you can select fields in the report builder, I cannot see anything besides the default template. It does not appear to be able to be edited for that template or new ones. Okay, interesting. If you wouldn't mind, pull up your reports really quickly. I'm going to just kind of walk through this. You'll go to the executive summary report template. Just create a new report template here, and then you can just call it whatever you want. And then I'm going to save this, and then you would go to insert report element. You would choose either visual or text. And then from here, when you select this box, you can choose which module is shown. And then you can, of course, choose more options from here. Hopefully that helps. If you notice that doesn't work, shoot a message to support and they'll be able to help you out. We can also send the KB on executive summary. And then I think this is maybe, let's see, pre-built, looking for a way to initiate a pre-built script from the agent directly. Any way to do that. Submit it a help ticket, but didn't look like the functionality was there yet. Yeah, really good question. So if you're talking about like from the system tray icon, they can't just click on the system tray icon and initiate a script from there. I think command line command is the only option from there right now. So I couldn't go run a PowerShell script, but what you could do is from a customer portal, you can actually give access to certain scripts. You don't have to give every contact under this customer access. So if you want to, maybe I have one admin, or maybe this customer has an internal IT department too that I want them to be able to run a script. You can give them access to assets, and when they click on the asset, you can choose what scripts are going to be available that are customer facing. So that would be one way to allow someone to self-service scripting. Then I think I have one more in here. Eric, can an asset be a member of more than one group? And how do we change the assets category? I edit an asset, but there does not seem any way to change the type. So you cannot change the type if it is a Syncro device, and that's probably what you're referring to. So a Syncro device means it has the Syncro agent installed. That portion cannot be edited. Same thing holds true if it's like an SNMP device, if it's a printer, a router, a switch. The only way you can change the type is if it's a custom type, a manual asset, meaning it is not managed in Syncro, which you can still have those, iPads, iPhones, you name it. You can still create tickets and store custom fields there too. So what you'll want to do is select Syncro device if that's what it is. And absolutely an asset can belong to multiple groups. I have a ton of different saved asset searches here. What has Google installed might also have Bitdefender installed. It might also have Zoom. So yes, you can create any of these different groups. And when you actually select that group, then your dashboard is going to update. And while I'm here, since there's only 2 questions, I'm going to make sure I show this. I wrote it all out to someone who had asked about pending reboot. So all you would need to do is go to asset type Syncro, and then there is, when you add the property conditions, there's one for pending reboot in here. So that's how you can filter that way. That's it.
Whew, she's so good. Thank you, Brandy. Okay, Michael, are you still here? I've got some questions for you.
I am.
Awesome. Okay. Eric says, longtime user of Bitdefender. The risk management feature is awesome.
Yep.
But 2 questions.
Okay.
Do you have any PowerShell scripts or other that will allow the fix of misconfiguration that are not automatic? I know these can be done by GPO, but the ability to fix via a Syncro script would be awesome. Oh, I guess, is that a Syncro question? It might be.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if there's any automated scripts. I would check with the community, see with Reddit and stuff, because we give you in risk management all of the detailed information that you would need to go out and make mass changes in an automated way. A lot of the risk management vulnerabilities can be automatically remediated right from within Gravity Zone, but the ones that can't, that are more manual in nature, Bitdefender doesn't provide any of those scripts, but we do provide all the information that you would need to actually create those for you. But that's a great question.
Awesome. Second question to that is, do you have any tools or plans to scan non-endpoint devices like printers, switches, etc.?
Good question. Not sure. I'm not sure that's on the roadmap. I know we get a lot of questions about that. But we've got some big kind of ticket items that are consuming a lot of our engineering resources. So right now, we're not looking at that. We are looking at mobile and other types of big ticket, what I call big ticket items, including like we're getting a lot of questions about integrating our email security into EDR, so you can actually see the emails and all that type of stuff right from within the EDR console. So things like that are consuming a lot of our resources right now. But that's a great question.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to go through a few more of these. David has a Bitdefender question. I am using different types of Bitdefender licenses like encryption, hybrid detect, EDR. I cannot find a breakdown of who is using what type of license.
Oh, okay. Well, let me show you that. Give me 1 second here. I got to share my screen. So that's where all right, where is gravity zone here? There we go. So this is where the monthly license usage report, you can either run that here. So if I run this from here, so this is called the monthly license usage report. And I'll just do it for this month. And I just generate this. This is going to break down exactly what the usage is per customer, per endpoint. You'll see all of the modules here, and then which endpoints are using those particular modules. So that is the monthly license usage report that you want to run. You can also get that same usage report from my company, and you can run the report from right there. So either way, but it's the monthly license usage report. It'll break down per endpoint, per customer, what modules you're using, etc. Good question.
Okay, awesome. And then this last one I'm going to fire your way. Can Bitdefender email security for MSPs handle Office 365 webmail?
Yep. Office 365, G Suite, on-premise Exchange, anywhere where you can redirect an MX record so that we can be the gateway for your email, you can absolutely use our email security product.
Okay, that is awesome. Okay, and I think like I got maybe clicked too quickly, but I was just going to read this one from Christopher. Non-Bitdefender related, when scheduling a ticket, the ticket numbers don't show up in the dropdown to pick the ticket. You have to know the subject or contact. Can we get the ticket numbers in the dropdown? Awesome request. Thank you. Documenting that now. And then I am reading the one from Cole too. Thank you for joining us. We're happy to be here and help. And I think ability to integrate with Galactic Scan, other than like our open API, we don't have any plans. As far as I know, of that integration. And then a request for Cyberdrain as a guest. I love all of these requests because it is fun to have these guests. So with that said, I just wanted to say thank you, Michael, so much for joining us today. This was really, really fun. And I think a lot of folks got questions answered in a very efficient way. So just to re-say a few things, you can trial Bitdefender. You can also do a demo of Bitdefender. We're happy to provide all of the resources that we have. You can reach out to myself or Brandy. If you have any additional questions, we're happy to help. But this has been a really awesome session. Michael, anything you want to leave us with?
No, I just, have a great weekend and, stay safe out there.
Absolutely. And right back at you. And Brandy, thank you so much. Kicked us off like she always does, because obviously my computer was like completely frozen. So thank
you guys are just lucky you weren't stuck with me only for the whole hour, because who knows what we would have been talking about and learning. I'm just glad you guys were here, because these people would have been dropping like flies. I do want to just real quickly, if you guys want to grab the links that are in the chat box, because they do go away after the session. Crystal did link the PAN portal, which is the Bitdefender Partner Advantage Network. I know, Richard, you sent me an email. I sent that along to you as well. So yes, just wanted to throw in that plug to grab those chats.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, Michael, for joining us. Thank you, everyone here. And hopefully we'll see you next week as well. Happy weekend. Happy Friday. We'll see you all next week. All right. Bye.
Bye.